Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today. And as promised, this is a Collins Bible. I don't stray too far from Collins Bibles. Typically, I have quite a lot of them, so I have to get through them and, review them. My hot picks were like Collins and Octor there for a while, so I have quite a large amount of them. But this is a Collins Bible, and it's very similar to one that I've already reviewed. I'll go ahead and post that one, I guess the link to it down below in case you guys are interested. But this is one of those, one of these very, very, very thin Collins Bibles. Look, you can see it's ever so slightly thicker than a marker, a Sharpie marker. So a very thin, very trim edition here. Now this one is produced by Collins World, and it seems to be a little bit updated from the other one that I reviewed. So it's a little bit different. Not much, but I guess enough for me to, warrant it for its own review, which I'm probably going to do anyway, because I enjoy reviewing Bibles, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching them, and, fun was had by all. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Now, this leather is a leather that, if you've been watching my channel since its inception, you've probably seen it, I guess. My very first, official Bible review, I have some stuff out there that shall not be named, but my very first official Bible review was a Thomas Nelson 407, I think, BR, which is a brown aniline goatskin. Goodness, quite the opposite of that. A brown aniline pigskin Bible. And this leather seems to be very reminiscent of that. Now, if you guys are familiar with Skylar, they just released an aniline cast skin, and it's way different looking than this. So I'm not sure what that aniline process entails or what it means. I probably should have done some homework before this, but I didn't. But this looks very similar to that aniline pigskin on my Thomas Nelson that I used to have. I got rid of it. But that I used to have a long time ago. I shouldn't say I got rid of it. That sounds crude. Maybe not crude, crass. I don't know. Harsh. That's the word. I didn't get rid of it. I traded it for another Bible, and the Bible that I traded for was I'll also post it down below. I'll post all the links down below so you guys can watch these if you're interested. But it was my very favorite vintage Bible. It's an ASV Bible, and the gentleman that I traded with really liked that 407, and I really liked his ASV, so we traded. So let's go ahead and get into this one. We'll take a look here at the cover. It is obviously brown, and it does have some extremely unique character. And that was one of the things with the other Bible as well, that Thomas Nelson. It just had this amazing grain. It's very, I don't even know, it almost looks like a crumbled up piece of paper. It's so incredibly, textured there. Now, it is pretty smooth. I mean, you can feel a little bit of the texture, but it's not like a super deep texture. But visually, it's like very visually appealing. You also have this kind of exterior perimeter line, exterior perimeter line that continues on the spine. And on the spine, you have Holy Bible Concordance. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ribs, they're a little bit raised ever so slightly, kind of the pressed ribs, I guess. And then you have Collins indicated there on the bottom. On the back, it's nothing, just clean. That very unique pattern. Very unique. It's very, very unique Bible. I've seen some of these super ultra thin Collins come up from time to time. I haven't ever seen a brown one. They're usually black, and they're usually in very poor condition. So I'm assuming people use the mess out of them. And this is certainly a very portable edition. It's like not much bigger than an address book, So we're going to get into it. Look at the liner here. The liner is this side is a brown synthetic. You can see there was like a sticker there. It left some kind of stickery residue. I tried to clear it off. I didn't want to put any like harsh chemicals because I don't want it eating through the liner. So I used, like, believe it or not, like a piece of Scotch tape. You kind of stick it on and pull it off. And Scotch tape usually does a good job of cleaning off old adhesive. But for whatever reason, it didn't do so hot here. Maybe we'll go back and revisit that. I don't know. It is indicated here with genuine leather edge lined. Is this liner leather? I think it is, because I feel like I can almost see some like like hair follicles or pores in the leather here. So I feel like this is probably leather. You can see it has very nice corner work, very tight corner work, excellent corner work in the fold over there, and the paste up here coming up onto the book block. And also those corners on the back. There's nothing indicated, but just again that kind of leather liner and the synthetic end sheet there. As far as the gold gilt goes, it's very nicely done. A nice concave book block there. You can see it curved in. Look at it, almost matches my finger. Perfect. And then the ribbon is kind of, it's an old school ribbon. It's just a single-sided satin brown ribbon. I had to recut it, if I remember correctly, because it was like really frayed. But I recut it and then glued the end of it. So hopefully it'll hold up there. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's so small, so trim. All right, so we have a kind of a blank kind of parchment sheet there, a couple of them, and then a presentation page on a piece of parchment also. And then we have our Holy Bible title page there. And now the difference being here, this one is a Collins World, and I believe the other one was just a Collins Bible, so the title page is a little bit different, but the pagination is exactly the same. So I guess it must have been a model from Collins that carried over when World purchased them, or when Collins purchased World, either way. But there you go. Authorized King James Version. On the back here, it just says printed in the United States of America, and then we have our epistle dedicatory, followed by the table of contents. Went a little too far. Nice thin paper. And we have the first book of Moses called Genesis, and then also your table of signs used. But yeah, first book of Moses called Genesis. Did I say the first book of Genesis? First book of Genesis called Moses? I don't know what it said. It's the first book of Moses called Genesis. Right there. There we go. That's what it says. Let's take a look. So zoom in here. You can see this wonderful text. It's getting a little small for my eyes. You know, I'm reaching the big 4-0. I'm going to be in a couple months here. And I've noticed recently, maybe over the last year, I'm having to do the thing, where you lean back and you extend your arm to be able to read, or I have to do the a really heavy blinks to kind of clear my eyes. I don't know, to get them to be able to focus better. It's like slap them around and wake them up a little bit. But go ahead and take a look here. Kind of standard fare for these old KJVs. We have the book name and the chapter number up in the top exterior corners. And then in the gutter, we have the running headers here, subject headers. There's nothing in the text, as far as subject lines or anything like that. We just have the chapter indicators there, and then a 2-line drop cap, along with a full suite of references in the center column. They are using Pilgrim markers here to indicate the paragraph breaks as the standard for KJV. A very nice layout. I mean, just your very typical, King James Version layout, which I'm a fan of. It's a very nice layout. Don't get me wrong. Let's find, where am I going? I'm looking for a poetic section. Poetic section. There we go. Proverbs. We'll go to Psalms. Psalms is void of any sort of poetry layout or anything like that, but you can take a look there at the, I don't even know what I'm saying. Take a look at the paper. The paper quality. Now, this is not specified as Oxford paper, but it's, I'd say it's probably not quite as opaque as Oxford paper, but it's very close. If it is Oxford paper, it wouldn't surprise me because it is extremely thin, this edition. And this paper is, it's pretty thin. Goodness, yeah. If I had to guess, I can't tell when it gets this thin. Maybe 18 or 20 GSM. It's a very thin paper. But, the opacity is pretty good, all things considered. You can see just a very little bit of haziness right there, maybe. That's a very nice, very dark print. Very uniform. I don't know if this is red letter. Let's go ahead and flip, and we shall be surprised when we get there, probably, by some neon letters. Oh, there we go. Yep. It might be neon. It might be neon. Okay. So we have the end of it's always neon with these old Bibles. I wonder why they couldn't get the red right. That's what I'm curious about, because it's just dye, right? Just add a little bit of black ink into the red ink, and it'll be darker, right? Isn't that how it works? So you have the end of the Old Testament, and then you have your New Testament title page there. And then we have the Gospel according to Matthew. Flip over to 6 and 7. Oh, okay, y'all, this is your warning. Put some sunglasses on. It's about to get real bright in this room. It's not that bad. Definitely not the worst red that I've seen. But it's definitely uneven. So you can see kind of up here in this top corner. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but up here it's fairly light, the red. And then if you come down here to this corner, it's much darker. So there's definitely a distinct difference there, but I'll give you guys a kind of a close look on the red. So not a terrible red. Not the best. About middle of the road. Red ink. Let's go ahead and get to the end. And there are quite a few features. Not quite as much as that last Bible I reviewed, but it's no slouch. Oh goodness, there we go. Okay. So there's the end of the New Testament, and you have the Concordance title page, and then your Concordance to the Holy Scriptures. There you go. And the Concordance is probably the majority of what's back here. Yep. Your Concordance still at 126-page Concordance, so very good size, considering, again, how trim this is. It makes you think, if they would have removed the Concordance and the maps, how thin this edition could have been, right? Maps are kind of standard for the olden days, just a 2-color, kind of a canary yellow and pale blue maps. I think some other pastel colors kind of thrown in there. I get a little vibrant here on the next page. Whoop! Got some nice maps, and this one's obviously marked up in the back, but I guess originally you would have had a couple blank sheets here at the end. one blank sheet, kind of two, kind of like 1.5 blank sheets. I don't know if I should ever count this because you're not going to get much writing on this page. I guess you could get some. Then you have the, I guess the model number down there, which looks to be LF3491XBR. So X, I'm assuming cross references, BR for brown, or B for brown, and R for red letter. I don't know. One of these days, maybe a Collins employee will chime in who used to work for Collins back in the 1960s. So actually, yeah, so very nice, very trim. Look at this. That's just insane. Let me grab the other Collins. I have it right here. So this is the other one that I reviewed in that other video. It's the same layout, same pagination, same size, same everything. Although weirdly, look at this. It's just a slight bit thinner, the one on the bottom there, this other Collins. I mean, it's only a couple millimeters maybe, but when you get this thin, it kind of really matters. This is almost like as thin as a pencil. And so it makes me wonder, like, let's take a quick look. Yeah, okay, so see, there, that answers my question. There's those couple millimeters. So this just has Revelation, right? And then it gets right into the maps. There's no concordance in this one. Right? So there you go. There's the end of Revelation, and then the maps, like, immediately following it. So here's the answer to my question, right? This is how thin it would be if there was no concordance. So Bible manufacturers, I guess, take note. Modern-day Bible manufacturers, take note. If you want those last couple millimeters of thickness reduction, you take out your concordance. So that would be the primary difference between these two. I mean, obviously, aside from the color, right? This one has Holy Bible. This one, nothing is clean. But certainly, this leather is just super neat. Super neat. I wish manufacturers nowadays would use stuff like this, just this real crazy stuff. I've noticed Skylar's getting really into like some of the crazier leathers, and even Allen has started doing some neat leathers. They did an edition. It was like a dark gray with red ribbons and a red liner. Oh, it looked beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, it'd just be nice to see some of that stuff again. Let me get you guys some measurements before I start going on about other Bibles. All right. So as far as height goes, it is just over 7 1/4 inch tall. By 5 and what is that, an eighth? Yeah, an eighth. 5 and an eighth inches wide, and then a little bit thicker than the other one, like I said, and it comes in right there at 3/4 of an inch thick. It looks like. So yeah, I mean, still well under 1 inch thick. 3/4 of an inch ain't bad, especially for a full concordance there. Let's go and take a look at the font, where we are going to be dismayed, to say the least. All right, I'm going to use the N and now here to take a look, and we're just going to go right on down to 8. Yeah, and it's about a 7.5 point font versus Times New Roman for the uppercase. And then we'll use the M in small here, and this will probably be an 8. But an 8-point font for the lowercase versus Times New Roman. So I always go by the lowercase, so I would say this is an 8-point text. But yeah, very nice. Just a really nice edition. Certainly, if you guys dig around on eBay, this one I have a feeling I'll I don't know. It's so hard. I have y'all. I have so many Bibles, and I have to do something with them. So I don't know. This one might be up for sale. The black one might be up for sale. They might both be up for sale. I don't know. I'll post links down below if they are, or check out my eBay thing. If you happen to see them, I guess I'll make up my mind before I post this video. Is that it? Bible Buddies, is that it? I guess so. Bible Buddies. Until next time. Bye.